What's up, everybody? Hey, my microphone's acting a little weird, so if there's a little bit of buzzing in the background, I'll try to pull that out with Adobe Premiere, but if you hear it, sorry about that. I have a brand new microphone on the way. It'll be here next Wednesday, so then I'm getting rid of this old microphone. All right, so the thing is, let's jump right into it. Today, as the title suggests, we're going to be adding a new administrative clickable link in the administrative dashboard. We're going to hook the admin menu, and we're going to create a very, very, very simple page that just has some text on it. We're not going to get into forms and saving yet because I tried to make 2 videos for that yesterday and they ended up both being like half an hour long. So let's not do that. But we're going to try to keep it really simple today. All right. And you're going to learn how to hook the administrative menu. It's quite a bit easier than you think probably. So what did we do last time? Oh, by the way, subscribe, will you? Hey, I'm working here. All right. And I'm trying to do my best to do all this for free. So the least you could do is subscribe. All right, partner. Okay, so what did we do last time? Oh yeah, that's right. We were in the activator and we had created a new database using DB Delta. This was really quite a bit easier too. And it's really easy to do in WordPress because it already takes care of so much of this for you. And with the Boilerplate plugin, a lot of this stuff is so easy to just go right into the functions and do. So we're going to find that today it's just as easy with hooking the administrative menu. So here's where we're going to start for that. We have to actually go into 2 different files. The first one we're going to go into is our includes and into the base class. Also, if you hear birds in the background, it's because I live right next to a farm, so that also. All right, so let's take a look at this file. This is the core plugin, obviously. It's not the one in the core file, it's for the includes folder, but this one handles basically defining all of the hooks and everything for our entire plugin here. And so what we're gonna have to do is, hey look, there's me. And so what we're gonna have to do is scroll down, I think about like 130s somewhere, 150s maybe, right here, 150. All right, so you see this administrative hooks? This is where it's already doing some stuff. So let's take a look at what it's up to right now. Right now what it's doing is it's initializing the class, it's bringing the class in, right? A new GPT Talker admin class, and it's going, and it's got some data it has to pass to it, and it's creating a new class so we can talk to the plugin admin class. Now you'd ask yourself, well, where is that class? Well, remember, we have an administrative facing side that has its own. We're gonna work in both these files today, by the way. Under your administrative folder, so that other one was an includes, one was an admin. And this is what handles all the administrative functionality. So let's take a quick look at what it's doing, because what we have to write today, I know, don't be scared to write code. Okay, it's all right. You can do it. What it's doing right now is you can take a look here. There's 2 functions already in here. We have a enqueuing styles and enqueuing scripts. All right, and there's actually already some folder. Like this boilerplate plugin rocks so much. It already has all this stuff pre-built for us, so it's so easy to just I was gonna say hook into it. I don't want to confuse you. It's easy for us to edit or be a part of already what's here. So let's take a look back over here, and you're gonna see that there's currently something happening. So it's creating the class, which is creating basically this. It's allowing us to speak to what's inside of this. I'm trying to keep it as plain as simple and as plain and simple as possible. So it's allowing us to speak technically to that class, okay? It's like initializing it in here and allowing us to speak to it. And it's basically right now, it's saying this, in WordPress, this always refers to the class that it's working in right now. It's for what's called encapsulation, meaning the code can't just run wild and access stuff it's not supposed to. So it's referring to this class, this GPT Talker class, and it's saying loader, which is, the thing about loader is that's also a, see, it was done up here. I was trying to show you where they did it. It's the loader that's responsible for maintaining and registering all the hooks, and the loader is right here in the loader. So they're calling the loader, and they're saying in the loader, we're going to add an action. By the way, let's just open the loader so you can see. So see, the plugin boilerplate also has all this stuff predetermined by default. So when they access the loader class, they can access all of these functions also. And so that's what this is doing, okay? It's saying this loader class, which was defined above, so we have access to it, add action, and it's passing it some parameters that it needs in order to run the action. So in this case, it's saying I want to run the admin and queue scripts, I want to run admin and queue scripts. That's what I want it to be. I want to go to plugin admin, which we defined here, and I want to run this function in there. So it goes over here to the administrative and it says, oh, that's right here. I'll run whatever code's in here. You see? All right, so with that in mind, what we're going to do is we're going to add a few of our own. And like I said, if there's a little buzzing and stuff, I'm really sorry about that. This is actually a good microphone, but I've just used it so much that it's going out. So in our case, what we're going to do is we're going to handle this really easily by just adding our own comment here and saying add some admin menu hooks. All right. So in this case, we're just going to add a menu hook. We're also going to do our register settings here. That's not for the next video. So in this one, what we're going to do, here's the thing. We can either copy it or write it longhand. I'll write it longhand just so you can see. So we're going to do exactly what's below. We're going to follow their exact pattern they have. We're going to add our own action since we're going to hook ourselves. Now, in this first part, it's the part where WordPress has to understand the part that you're trying to hook. And there is a sheet that shows you all the places that you can hook into WordPress. There's like tons of spots. It's crazy. I described it once as a bus that goes through a city and drops drops passengers off, like when a train, like when a town is being formed. Like imagine your WordPress is a town being formed, and as the bus leaves the station, people who are hooking into different parts of town can hop on the bus and then hop off at their station to add to the town. So like there's a part of the town that's a header, there's a part of the town that's a sidebar, there's a part of the town that's the content and all this stuff. And hooks can hook bus riders into those places. So when the bus leaves, you can add a bunch of hooks in which are riders, and they can all just jump off at their part and add to the build. So right now what we're doing is we're hooking the admin menu. All right, that's actually like the bus stop in town that this person's going to get off at. And then we want to tell it what place we're going to call to for our class to read, or for the class we're going to call to for our function that we're going to run, that we're going to send this code, this code who's our bus rider that we're going to send to this location. Like what code is he taking with him? And the code he's taking with him is, we're going to call it, we could call this whatever we want, but let's just call it like add plugin settings menu. All right, so what we just did now is we just added our own hook that's going to hook into the admin menu, and so let's just break it down really slowly. It's going to hook into WordPress's admin menu. It's going to look in the plugin admin, which is a new, it's initializing this class right here, and it's going to look for this function in there. But Josh, you say, we don't have that function in there. Yeah, I know. We're going to go do it right now. And by the way, also, this right here is what we call our function. We could have called this like add Mountain Dew menu, and it would have done it as long as it's called add Mountain Dew menu in the other one. So over here in our administrative, we're going to take a little scroll to the bottom here. We're just going to give ourselves a little space. And we're going to write a new public, not function, a new public function. And to make it safe, to make sure that you're not an idiot like I've been and always give it like a misspell or something, you can paste exactly, because that's what it's looking for, right? And there you go. We now have a piece of code that our admin menu is going to look for when it's getting ready to build the menu. Like when the bus shows up to that part of town and it's like, is there any riders on here who want to like add their code to the menu? And one of ours is like, yeah, me, right? Our Mountain Dew menu, and it jumps off there. So, all right, so how do you add a menu page? Well, fortunately for us, WordPress is smart-ish, and it tells us that we can add a menu page. Ta-da! That was really hard, right? So that's it. So now in here, you're going to have to put in some parameters for it to take a menu, all right? And I'll explain them as we go, and the parameters we're going to use. So the first parameter is going to be the page title. Now this is the title that actually shows in the top of your URL bar. Let me open this up. Like shows up here when they're clicked onto it. Like if they go to just over general settings, like this title here that says general settings, and each one that you go to. So we're gonna go ahead and set our title. So the first thing is you got to open it, like you got to put it in the quotes or parentheses, and then you get, not parentheses, sorry, the single quotes. And then you got to go, let's just call this Chat GPT Talker settings. So that's what's going to display up in the top bar now. And I'll also comment this. Let's just say this is the page, or like tab title or something. It should be like, I mean, page title is good, but I guess tab titles, we'll just do that. Okay, parameter number 2 it wants is the title that's actually the menu, the clickable menu title. So let's just call this GPT Talker settings again. And then we're going to say, this is the actual thing that they see when they click it in the menu title. And then the third parameter it wants is who can access this page, because remember how WordPress has different, like you can be an editor or like that kind of thing. We want it to be a admin, and to do that in WordPress, it's actually something called manage options that allows it to be only administrator. So we're going to say like access level or capability, I guess. So that allows only administrators to access it from the back end. And then this one is going to be a menu slug. Now this is really important because our form, when it saves settings, the form has to know the page that it's supposed to be on. It's like a security feature for WordPress. So what do we want our menu slug, or our page slug to be? We'll look at this too after to make sure that you understand it. Let's just call this GPT chat settings. That's fine. We're going to say page slug. And then we need a callback function for this. And what that means is it needs to know what I want to display to the user when they click it. So, and this is actually taken as an array. And we're going to call, well, we're doing it as an array because we're going to call to this admin talker admin class, and we're going to call to another function to display back to the user what we want them to see. So let's just call this display, how about settings page? We also could have called this display Mountain Dew page. It would have worked if the function below was the same. I hope you understand that. I'm trying to make that as clear as possible. We're already at 10 minutes, so I'm trying to roll as fast as I can here. All right, we're going to say callback function. So that's the display. That's what the user is going to see, meaning when they click that options in the menu, this is what's going to display to them. It's going to go to that function, and that's what's going to display back. And we're going to build that here in 2 seconds too, and it'll be really short. This next one is the icon that you're wanting to display. And in this case, we're just going to use a dash icons like an admin one. How do you do it? Admin generic. Yeah, that should work. That should work. And then we're just going to say the icon. And then the very last one here is the position on the menu. Now, what I mean by this is you can set a number like 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will appear somewhere in here. We're going to set 80, so it pushes it all the way to the bottom, and it's not in a sub menu, meaning it's not like under settings. It's its own tab that exists, and it's down at the very bottom. So let's just go like, I don't know, you can do 80, 85. It doesn't even matter. And so we're going to say position. All right, that takes care of adding our menu page. Now we have one more thing we have to do before this video is over, and that is we have to create a public function real fast. I'm going to try to get this fast as possible for displaying back to the user something on that page. So at least there's something displaying to them, okay? So that's what this is going to be. And in this case, let's keep it really super duper simple. And let's just, I know it's going to be crazy, close the PHP. Don't freak out, okay? For anybody that doesn't know who's following this, in PHP, and most people following this will understand it because they already are doing some level of coding in PHP to even be interested in this course. But you can close it like this inside of a function, and you can write raw HTML and, div.wrap. This is Emmett. Emmett's going to take care of a lot of cool stuff for us. So you can actually write raw HTML, and when the user outputs it, or when the WordPress comes to this function and writes it out, like puts it on the page, it will actually output it as just the HTML, as long as it's sitting outside of the PHP. And you can actually like still echo PHP tags, variables from this page into it and everything. It's pretty cool. So let's do an H1. We only have a couple tags here, and then we're done. Let's call this GPT Talker Settings page. And then we only have one more, and we're going to go check it out and make sure it works. So let's open a paragraph, and let's just say this is our new admin area for our plugin. Yeehaw. Actually, yeehaw, brothers, and rejoice. All right. Actually, an @ symbol's fine. I don't care. Well, no, let's do it. All right. So now we did it. Okay. 13 minutes. That's not too bad. We're only a couple minutes past. So, but once again, let's recover what we did, and then we'll go check it out. So we came into the talker class that was inside of our includes, and we went down to the admin hooks. And since this beautiful plugin boilerplate already takes care of all this loader stuff for us, we can load the loader that's already loaded in this. In this class, we're calling to that loader, and we're adding an action, and we're adding a new admin menu. Remember, I talked about the bus and the riders. We're going to call to that initialized plugin admin class. Okay, that's our administrative class, and it's going to call to the add plugin settings new. So it knows, hey, I'm going to hook into the WordPress menu, and what do you want me to do? Oh, you want me to add a new menu page. You ask yourself, how does it know to do that? Well, WordPress has a lot of built-in functions, and it understands by default what you're doing here. It knows exactly what you mean by this. So we had to add a title for the tab, the menu title when they click it, the only administrators can access it, the settings, the page slug, the callback function, which is what's going to display, an icon, and I think this is a variable, by the way. I don't think you have to have that if you don't want, and then position. And then we just create a little bit of HTML that goes back. So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to pull this into our plugin. Remember, I don't do it actually in the plugin inside the thing itself. I actually do it aside from that on my, I'm going to the folder right now, in my computer, because I'm doing this as like a series, so I want to make sure that I'm only doing each code as we need it. I don't want to have like the whole thing already in there and finished and everything. All right, so now we're back in our plugins folder, and remember, this is in our XAMPP, our htdocs, the plugins. Plugins is actually the name of my WordPress installation, content, and then plugins. I should have done something different to not be confusing. And here's the plugins that currently exist there, and we can verify this by going back to our plugins, our installed plugins, and you'll see the only two that are here are the two that are here. So back on the other side here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this GPT talker file, which is the one we're working on right now. And once again, I'm just going to drag and drop it into here and copy it. And that's going to give us it inside there. And now when we run a little refresher here, show me the money. There it is. So when we activate this, barring anything unforeseen, we should have a new menu item that shows at the bottom. Aha! Look at that. What do you think, fellas? GPT Talker settings. And when we visit it, we should see an H1 and a paragraph. Wow, look at that. So that's it, guys. Okay, 15 minutes, a little past farther than I wanted to get. And like I said, once again, sorry for the buzzing. All right, well, that concludes this part. So now we have a Talker settings menu item. We have a place where we can set up our administrative settings, which is going to be next. We're going to build a form that has all of our stuff for like the API key and all that stuff for the GPT OpenAI API. And I'll show you how to save settings and get rid of settings and stuff like that. And then we're just going to keep rocking and rolling from there. Look, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, will you? I'm doing this all for free. Also, secondarily, I do have affiliate marketing videos coming. It's something I really have wanted to always do for a long time. I've been in like so many groups. I've done it for 10 years. And oh, I almost lost audio there for a second. Sorry, my microphone's buzzing out on me. It's bugging out. And I'll be showing some of that too, because it's something I've done for like 10 years that I love, and I want to start showcasing some of that too and teaching it. So anyway, hey, I hope this was helpful. And once again, subscribe if you haven't. And I look really forward to seeing you guys in the next part where we deal with building some options and saving them for our plugin. See ya.